Doesn't work.
Yeah, I can't hear you still.
Oh, shit, Chris.
Nope.
What about now?
Nope.
Huh?
Nope.
Huh?
Yeah,
No?
that's better. That's good.
Right there?
Yeah, that's good.
Good?
Yep.
Huh?
That's
Good?
Yep.
Good?
Yep.
Good?
Feeling good.
Oh,
Yep.
now I can't hear. All right, fuck it. We're just going to roll with it.
This is A Few Choice Words, the Fueled by Choice pod snack. A tasty morsel of inspiration and stories of choice from some of our favorite humans in the world.
A few choice words. All right, here we are.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. It's been about a month since we've recorded an episode. And also, until the other night, it was like a month until we saw each other. What have you been up to?
Well, my fiance Taylor and I, we've been working on the new business, float therapy, massage therapy, Srona. It's just been, like everyone says, you start a business and it literally takes up your entire life, but in the best way possible. It's so fulfilling to see everything come together, and been learning so much about the process of having a building and having to completely renovate it and work with contractors and stuff.
So what exactly is it?
So it's flotation therapy, which if anyone's listening, all 10 people that might be listening, flotation therapy is sensory deprivation in a tank full of roughly 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt. And there's only 10 to 12 inches of water.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the most amazing experience because not only are you warm, you are in a room of complete silence and no light whatsoever. So I always ask people, it's like, when was the last time, or any time for that matter, that you've been in that situation where, yes, we've all been in a pool, or maybe you've gone skinny dipping at nighttime, but at the same time, like, you're not floating effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the coolest. That, to me, that's the most awesome experience. So yeah, that's flotation therapy. Not to go down a whole wormhole with explaining everything about it, but those, to me, that's like, that was the most exciting thing. When I heard that, I was like, yes, I got to try that.
I'm looking forward to it just because it's very hard for me to, in my own space, to like sit down and just meditate. And just like my yoga practice and everything, if I have a studio to go to, if I have a place to go to, and in this case, you'd be paying a little bit of money to do the sensory deprivation and the floats, like it's forced meditation in a way, and it's lengthy. It's like an hour, right? So
yeah, usually it depends on the facility. Some facilities do 90 minutes, if not longer. So some clients, they have custom times, which obviously if you build that relationship with someone and if you're open 24/7, you can kind of work with that. But yeah, you the average time is about 60 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. I'm pumped for you guys, and you guys bought a building in St. Clair Shores, and it's starting to get all renovated and everything.
Yeah, we've talked about this many times. Like, St. Clair Shores is such a cool up and coming spot, and we have a lot of hope for the city. And we both lived here for a few years, and we've seen some really cool changes for the better, like some awesome breweries that have been opened up: Jam-X, Copper Hop, Baffin, all the food trucks that have been coming around. It's cool.
And we have this amazing Kroger that got put in, which is huge.
Let's talk about the frozen pizza.
Yeah, I haven't even been in the frozen pizza aisle yet, but I need to go there. I just really like the flow of the grocery store. Like, your produce is right when you walk in, and then you make your way over to like the more fresh kind of section with the Mediterranean food and sushi, and then make your way down the produce. It's just got a good setup to get your shopping done very efficiently.
This isn't sponsored by Kroger, but it totally should be, because we're Kroger fanatics now. But yeah, the pizza aisle is about a mile long, so you got to bring a water bottle to make it through. And like you could get a workout going to that Kroger.
Yeah,
just go doing the aisles. Like, if you're looking for something quick.
Yeah, sometimes I actually go into like the dairy aisle, and I'll just start doing squats, and then I'll hop into like the freezer and cool off, and then I'll just come back out and I'll just lunge down an aisle and like eat a bag of cheese for fuel. It's pretty awesome.
That is quite the choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
So
Kroger people love that. Like they know when you're coming. It's like usually like on
Yeah.
Thursday, 1 p.m.?
Yeah, it's just leave before you got to blow up the bathroom, and they'll be fine with it. So anyway,
Yeah. Talk about wormholes.
yeah.
Wait, this started out with talking about how, okay, so that's what we've both been up to is hanging out at Kroger and.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. No, we've been.
All right, well, see you guys later.
Yep. Yeah, we're done. We're done here.
We've been talking about making microcasts, so we keep them super short.
Yep.
So.
Super short, just for your drive to Kroger, the local St. Clair Shores. Well, before we started this podcast, I hooked up the mic to the table that we're set up on, and it flipped over and knocked over water all over the place. So we're kind of out of season here. We both have had a lot of stuff going on, but we're ready to kind of ramp stuff back up. I mean, we're both working full time, but we really want to keep the brand going. And one thing that we're going to be doing is kind of just being a little more carefree, a little more goofy with things, a little more off the wall with some of our shirt designs and some of the stuff we do. And we're really excited to ramp stuff up in September because we have the Great Cycle Challenge coming up. And we have a Fueled by Choice team. And I think there's like 21 riders signed up right now.
Sounds about right.
And basically, for this challenge, you pledge miles. Like there's a standard amount, 300 miles, so roughly 10 miles a day, to ride on your bike. And for the Children's Cancer Research Fund, you raise money by posting your miles, and then people are able to donate to your account or to your team. And last year, we raised over $20,000, and we're hoping to at least double that up this year, which I think we can do.
Yeah, it's such a good experience. Like, when we started, our friend Sam Bennett had mentioned it, and we were kind of like, oh, that sounds like fun. Let's do a little team. And I think we were kind of initially just thinking it was going to be like us two and her, and maybe like a couple people, and then.
Well, she really rallied people together too in like the Grand Rapids area. Like awesome people.
That was one of the. I mean, obviously last year was kind of a shit storm, but like that was definitely one of the coolest parts of last year, and seeing people get together. And for anyone who does want to join the team, it's not like you have to ride a ridiculous amount of miles.
Yeah,
you can ride 50. Do you have a goal yet?
I was kind of between 300 and 400. I think 10 a day is possible for sure, especially since I have like the fixed bike that I can ride. But I did a 40-mile ride last weekend. That was my longest one I've ever done. It was tough. I really liked it, but I need to get my bike set up to do something like that. Like I think if I go for 400, there's going to have to be a couple of those lengthier rides. So
yeah, you definitely figure out what you need out of a bike. You start doing miles like that. And then also what you need to wear towards the end.
Yeah, I think I already have an idea of what I need to wear, and that's nothing but spandex.
Yeah, in the beginning, rides around the leg, just maybe close to nothing.
Yeah. I think, September, the air's crisp. You can really get a lot of good ventilation and airflow into your areas that need it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember last year, towards the end, a couple of those days, it was, coming out of summer, you start it when it's like 80 degrees, and then towards the end, it's like, it's 60, but it's wet.
Yeah. Well, when we did our ride, probably this was like early September, I think. We went, 15 miles just around like Grosse Pointe, and it was hot. It was like 80 degrees. I remember it was super weird. We were trying to get a picture, and that mom and dad were like walking their kids in a stroller by the church, and COVID was a thing then, right? Like, don't get near people. And they were super cool. They took a picture of us, but I remember it being muggy.
It's so funny you bring that up because I was just thinking how, like, phones, when you ask someone to take a photo back then, it's like, hey, I remember thinking, I was like, do we need to put the alcohol wipe out?
Yeah, right.
For the
Should
phone,
we Lysol our phone before we hand it to somebody?
Yeah, those are those like human moments where when it's like natural when someone's like, "Hey, nice to meet you." You reach the hand out, the shake. You're like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
It's
I
quite the adjustment.
how have you been? Have you been shaking hands? I've shaken a few hands
I
lately.
have, and it's usually an afterthought. Like I'm like, "Oh shit." And the thing is, I wash my hands more after, or like I go to the
Totally.
sanitizer and I make sure not to like touch my face after. And
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely like shaken hands with some people around the hospital and stuff, and it just seems like most people are probably vaccinated and washing hands pretty regularly, so it's not that big of a deal. That's just a normal thing that I've always done. It feels weird to not do that stuff anymore.
I think for the like history of whenever handshaking started,
Hmm.
like what, like
What do you think happened? I remember when I went to Mexico and I met a few people, they're all about like kissing on the cheek. Like, what do you think about that in like France? Do you think they got rid of that, or do they just like, was that like the source of the COVID spread? I mean, they call it French kissing for a reason, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
the tongue action's got to go, especially with the randos during a pandy.
Yeah, maybe there's an evolution of it that can happen,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
yeah, it's a good point. I've actually never thought about that.
Yeah, it just came to me, so thought
Hmm.
I'd bring it up.
Wow,
But yeah, how many miles are you gonna do?
I'm shooting for 500.
Woo!
I know it's well, you know what, you at least you put it high and you see what
Yeah,
happens, and
yeah.
you know, I uh I do have a road bike, and I didn't use it last year, and I took it out a couple weeks ago to make sure everything was working, like as far as the gears and
Mm-hmm.
make sure all the rims are good and stuff. Because I used to road bike a lot more back in the day, living in more of the farmland area where you could
Mm-hmm.
literally go on like a very smooth asphalt road for like 60 miles, and it was so
Yeah.
easy. Around here, it got a little tough.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go around the shores or Detroit with a road bike. I mean, you can, but man, you pop tires a lot faster.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, like that Macomb County Trail,
Mm-hmm.
like things like that. That's a great opportunity for anyone who on the team who lives in this area. That is an awesome trail. That
Yeah.
I think it technically starts in Troy or Rochester, and then
Yeah.
it goes to what,
We
Armada
it goes
or
through Romeo, Armada, Almont, and then Richmond.
Richmond. That's it.
And then you take it back, and it's like, I guess it's totally 50 miles. We started at like the 5 mile mark, so it was 40. But there's another trail from Northville down to Westland, I believe. That's 40 miles round trip that my buddy Darko was showing me. So we might do that too. And it's always cool, like stopping in a town and getting ice cream, or we got pizza that one time, and it's like you can eat whatever you want when you get to that destination because you've rode so far.
Yeah, you don't have to feel so guilty about it.
Yeah, for sure.
An awesome ride on that trail would be, and if anyone on the team listening to this, if you have any ideas,
Hmm.
let us know, because we're kind of new to the biking thing, especially around this area in terms of finding trails and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it would be awesome to stop at Blake's. Like kind
Hmm.
of go off the trail. It's like a mile off the trail.
Hmm.
Do like some kind of like powwow there. Blake's is awesome.
Hmm.
It's always a good setting.
Yeah, I would think we got to look into that, but I think that could be a good like 20-mile round trip ride. Like start wherever you need to near Armada on that trail in order to make it 10 miles to Blake's and then 10 miles back and get like brunch or whatever. That would be cool.
It'd be fucking awesome.
One thing I've noticed that seems to be like the general trend with everybody I work with is that it seems like working full time sucks now after the pandemic. I don't know why, it just sucks more. And this summer has just flown by in warp speed. And I feel like I have this theory that everything kind of slowed down to half speed for like a little over a year. And now we're just like double speed. And maybe it's just because people are having events and doing things and we all have stuff to look forward to. But man, I can't believe it's almost September.
That's such a good point. I never thought about it that way,
Hmm.
because I have been thinking about how summer has. I just knocked your headphone thing out. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Sorry, buddy. We run our own show here. I know it sounds great because we're really good audio engineers, but we don't have that Joe Rogan money. So
yeah.
Okay, I think we're good.
Jeez, get it together.
Yeah, disclaimer. I've had a few drinks.
It's Friday night.
It's Friday night.
10:30 p.m. It's only 9:40.
It's funny because our craziest moments tonight have been our soberest moments tonight. Well, you've been 100% sober, but yeah. When we do these podcasts, like I feel like when Drew sees that I ride my bike to his house, I think he knows.
Oh yeah, it's time to have a few.
I'm here to party. But on that note, summer has flown by, and Michigan summers they're very quick, and it's when the weather starts to turn, you just can't help but get a little bit of that seasonal blues, I guess. But I mean, we got kind of robbed out of July with the rain.
Yeah, we did.
But on your note about people being busy again, for sure, and I never thought about it like that. It seems like when things opened up, they really did just kind of open up super fast, and it was we're kind of back to normal, and especially with a lot of musician friends and on Facebook and stuff, seeing so many tours happening, but then also at the same time I think I just saw that like Corey Taylor from Slipknot got COVID.
Oh yeah,
that's a thing.
He's sick too.
Yeah, and you see all these band members from these bands getting COVID again, and it's just the scary thing of like, man, we're still not out of this.
I went to the Dave Matthews concert with some friends, and I'm not like a big Dave guy, but I just wanted to go to a concert and enjoy the music, and I did, but I did not expect the amount of anxiety that I had when I walked in, and there were just people like obliterated just all over each other, like on the lawn, and it just made me feel so weird. I stayed in my little group. We were still surrounded by people, and you hope that most people are vaccinated and stuff, but it's like, this might be a little too soon, or like the Lollapalooza pictures. Like, I love music and I love festivals too, but the people were stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, man. Disease and viruses, they're such a weird thing to deal with because, it's not like you're getting bombarded with shells and ammo and you can't physically see it until it actually infiltrates someone's body. And then all of a sudden it's hell on earth. And, to me, that's the scariest thing. And to your point with, people going to concerts and, man, speaking of crowds, that Lollapalooza picture.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Holy shit, dude, that was crazy. And, the funny thing, it's not funny at all, but fact of the matter, in a way, is I think it was a couple weeks later, I think Limp Bizkit, they were at Lollapalooza, their tour's over.
Really?
Like it's postponed. And I'm pretty sure Corbin's on that run.
Oh, no.
I saw a story he posted, but yeah, it just, it sucks, trying to get back to normal but going at it full swing when, hey, things have opened up. It's like, you still got to take some precautions. I don't want to get like for me, I know you're in the medical field. It's just kind of my personal opinion on the stuff that I don't want to get too not political, but that's just my personal opinion. It's like, man, I feel like we kind of rushed into it a little too quick.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, it's all like, not to talk too much about COVID because everybody's heard about that, but it's all up to like the states and counties and responses on like a smaller level this time around. So we're hanging out here in Michigan and the numbers still remain low, but you're just kind of cautious and wary and hope that it doesn't spread here and we can continue to do our thing. But yeah, it's really, really scary. On the Limp Bizkit note, not to change the subject too much, but have you seen Fred Durst lately?
Oh, yeah.
He is going for the old man look. Like, it is wild.
If there's a man fueled by choice,
it
might be Fred Durst.
It is Fred Durst for sure.
I fucking love it. And I can't say it's like I love that band, but I love a certain time frame of that band. Like, I remember being in 6th grade and hearing those guitars from Wes Borland, and
Mm-hmm.
not to go down a music rabbit hole, but
That's your dude, though.
yeah, like he was a huge Wes Borland was a huge influence on my playing and
Yeah.
the whole band in general and the attitude and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
it's so cool to see them having kind of the resurgence and dude,
Yeah.
the Fred Durst with the I guess what is it, the dad look?
It's like a grandpa look. Like he wears these tinted aviators, and he has this like this gray mullet and this mustache. It's very interesting. Is Wes still in the band? Is he back in?
Yeah, it's actually I'm pretty sure it's everybody,
Hmm.
excuse me, except for the drummer.
Okay. I watched. There's an MTV special from. It must have been 2000 or 2001 when they came out with Chocolate Starfish, and Fred Durst is at the Playboy Mansion, and it's a party for the CD released, filmed by MTV, and Fred Durst is the host. And there are so many celebrities there and models, and it is the cheesiest thing ever. And he just walks around this mansion and interviews random people that like super hammered. You would never see anything on that like this on TV again, especially celebrating a band like that and their CD release, which was subpar in my opinion.
You know what's fucking crazy to think about is what actually happened when the camera was not running.
Right.
I think about that shit all the time. Is back then, if there wasn't some, if someone wasn't in there with like a handheld cassette, whatever,
Yeah.
video camera, it was a free for all.
Yeah.
There wasn't, you didn't have the iPhone that you could just whip up and, hey everybody,
Right.
I'm taking pictures,
True.
and then automatically upload it to social media.
Mm-hmm.
And you just wonder like how many things happen behind the scenes, and that was also the cool thing about musicians and actors and actresses back then was there was the mystique to the whole thing.
And you would hear stories. Like you'd hear stories about I remember hearing about Jimi Hendrix playing a set and walking backstage, and there was just a table full of women like sitting down waiting for him to show up. Like that's messed up in and of itself to me, but like the fact that actually happened is wild.
Well, even if it wasn't a human being back there, just imagine it being a table full of every kind of drug you wanted.
Yeah.
We're totally going on a wormhole, but I fucking love it.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of like rock stars especially were frauds, man.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I totally respect the old rock stars. If they weren't drinking and partying every night, all the more, I totally respect that. In fact, that's probably what they should have been doing. But it's kind of like if they took a photographer out on the road. Like there's a legendary picture of Keith Richards, and he's chugging this bottle of Jack on stage. And it's such a obviously everyone would see that and be like, wow, he's a badass.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to wonder the next day on their off day, was he actually drinking and doing drugs all day? Because there's no memory of that day. There's no photographs.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder. It's like, okay, maybe that was his day. Like, hey, man, I'm not in front of anybody. I'm going to be totally sober. It's just, I wonder about those things.
Or maybe there's a lack of accountability for people when there were no phones. So it was like free for all, do whatever you want. And you're not going to get a picture taken of you. You're not going to get a video taken of you. It's very interesting to think about.
It's almost like there needs to be a little bit more of that nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
in a positive manner, of course.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Drew's into the Cheez-Its. So, that's a sign.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting kind of late. It's been a long week, but we just wanted to get on here and say what's up to everybody and talk about the Great Cycle Challenge, and we're looking forward to it. And
yeah, shave your legs for your speed and aerodynamics if you are going to be joining us on our team. That's a must. Also, grease your chains. Make sure you pump up your tires to their appropriate PSIs. Never go out without a helmet on.
I was just going to say that.
Make sure you have reflectors on if you're riding at night. Wear vibrant clothing as well. Bring a flashlight with you. Have your phone on you and charged at all times in case something does happen. Keep your head on a swivel. Look left, right, up, down. Do not wear headphones. Listen for traffic at all times. Give yourself a break. Jump in the lake. Have a good time. Spray yourself in the face with a spray bottle. Drink some water. Stay hydrated. Stay fueled by choice. And we'll see you out there. We're really excited.
Don't forget the bear repellent.
Oh, and the gold bond for the boys.
Yeah, grab towel. Wow. You can tell we haven't done this podcast in a while. Wow. See what happens? You start turning the lights off and you start pouring the drinks everywhere.
I don't know why this
You think you were the one drinking.
tipped over like that.
Oh. Towel. It's still pouring out.
Oh, shit.
Hey, college for it? Just fucking leave it, dude. We're raiding the house. It's fine.
What's this?
Here we go.